Hello, my name is Lesley Seabreeze Counselling Plus. I'm a psychotherapeutic counsellor and personal development coach. My mission when I'm working with my clients is to take them from the negative to the positive, from the can't do to the can do. Relationships are really difficult, aren't they? Do you ever find yourself wondering why you keep going round and round in what appears to be circles with somebody or with a group of people, where you keep saying the same things and the same situations happen and you just don't know how to get out of it? Well, when I'm working with my clients, I sometimes use this diagram, so I thought I'd use it today to show you. And it kind of explains a little bit of what is going on. So this is called the drama triangle, or I've called it the drama of relationships. And there are three places on here. There's the persecutor, the rescuer, and the victim. And when we get involved in relationships, we can find ourselves in one of these three places and we get stuck there. So the persecutor, it might be the person who always blames somebody else and doesn't take responsibility for their own stuff. And the rescuer is the person who always has to do everything for everyone else. And they kind of feel responsible for the other person. And then you've got the victim, the person who never gets it right, who's never appreciated. Does any of that sound familiar to you? Let me give you an example of a family situation and see if that resonates. So perhaps if you think about mum, dad and a teenage boy in the family, and it may be that mum is the persecutor, the one who's always shouting at the teenage boy, saying, "You don't do this, if only he'd do what I told him to, it would be fine." And then you've got maybe dad comes in as the rescuer who says, "Oh, I'll do it for him because I don't think he's capable of it." So he takes the responsibility for sorting everything out. And you've got the teenage boy who plays the victim. "I never get it right, mum's always cross with me, I wish I could just get things right." So you have a situation, you have a persecutor, a rescuer and a victim. But the complication is, and the challenge in a lot of relationships, is that sometimes these people move around. So maybe the son becomes the persecutor and he sort of shouts at mum and dad that they're doing it all wrong and they're blaming him for things that he hasn't done. And maybe mum moves from persecutor to rescuer and says, "Okay, I'll sort it all out, I'll talk to dad, I'll see what we can do, we'll get it sorted for you." And then poor old dad becomes the victim, the one who can't get it right. So everybody starts to move round. Now you might be wondering, okay, that's fine, so you can show it to you on the diagram, but what do I do? What is the practical thing that I do? Well, one of the things that you can do is to ask yourself this question down here, what I call my magic question. What would I like to have happen? So just by stopping and thinking about it, and instead of just taking up one of these positions that you usually take, if you just stop and think and ask yourself that question, what would I really like to have happen at this moment? And it might change your perspective. Equally, you could ask it of the other person. It can really take the wind out of the sails of teenage boys, or girls for that matter, if when they're really angry and upset with the parents, if the parent turns around and says, "Okay, so given all that, what would you like to have happen?" Because it's not what they're expecting, and they are expecting an argument, and if you ask the question, it can kind of dissolve the situation a little bit. So just try thinking about it. Next time you find yourself in a situation, maybe at work, maybe at home, where you always seem to be taking up a certain place in the triangle, Ask yourself that question and see if you can take yourself out of the triangle and find another solution. Remember, we can't change other people, but we can change the way that we react to them. And often that will have a knock-on effect, that they will start to change the way they react to you too. I hope that's been helpful. If you'd like to watch more videos like this, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. You'll also find my contact details there and a link to my website. Thank you for watching, take care, and I hope to see you again soon.